Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. I had this idea in my head that I would start a new series and it would kind of be something along the lines of the things I have said in therapy sessions. And honestly, even though everybody's experience is unique, I still find myself saying the same things because life is life. And I think there are so many times where things are applicable in so many ways, even if we are having different circumstances. So I thought, let's just make a series about it. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it of some of the things that I have said to my clients, regardless of their situation, because somehow it still applies. So the first one is, I've given you the tools, but you are the one who built the house. Oh my God. So the way this came about was because I actually was transitioning from my last job, and it was very hard, especially when you're working with children, to leave. And my kids didn't take lightly to that, in all honesty, but I had to remind them as much as, and this is with any therapist and a client, as much as you feel like a therapist has helped you, the goal is for you to feel like you are sufficient enough and they have given you enough tools that you can move on without them. And there were times where I really had to reassure my children that you can do this without me. Miss Ashley is not like your holy grail. You can continue to navigate, because if you can't, then honestly, that means I actually didn't do my job well. If you are relying on me, if you are relying on your therapist after working with them for a substantial amount of time, that means that you really haven't gained the skills that they have been trying to show you, and you're still not independent. The goal is, when you go into therapy, to grasp the concepts and the tools that you learned there and be able to venture off, move on, achieve. So you might have been building with a screwdriver and I just gave you a hammer. You might have been with a hammer and I gave you a wrench. You've done it, not me. Now, this second saying is actually what I use and I talk about with my clients who are mostly working on healing. There are, and I'm gonna try very hard to keep this general, but there are a lot of crappy people in this world, and there are people that hurt other people, especially hurt people who hurt people. Ooh, that's another one. Girl, anyway, that's not in this video. But even talking about healing, there are two types of healing. The first phase of healing is actually just not wanting the person to have any harm done towards them or ill will anymore, which quite frankly is a big hump. Not even gonna hold you. But when you get to that place of, okay, you don't want them to be harmed anymore, you don't want ill towards them, that doesn't mean that you still don't have hurt for yourself about what happened. So not only do you have to go through the phase where you are in some sort of forgiveness, understanding towards the person that maybe or event that has happened to you, but then you also have to say to yourself, have I personally let the hurt go? Now, the third one that I say, I tend to use this in the beginning when I'm working with clients, and I do that because there is this stigma that comes with diagnosis. I like to say, if it doesn't cause a impairment in your life, girl, you're fine. Because once it becomes a problem, which most of the time is why you here, if it doesn't become a problem, then it's probably okay for you to do and have. When it becomes an impairment in your life, that is the issue. And that actually is what it says in the DSM-5-TR, the diagnoses book that we use. If it starts to become an impairment, broken, problem, issue in your life, that's when we have something to worry about. So to normalize some feelings and behaviors, because I definitely feel like a lot of clients, when they are told or they're informed of maybe they have some sort of diagnosis, now they feel like everything they do or say or think is an issue, when that doesn't always have to be a case. Certain things, they're normal to have, but when they're disproportionate or they are an impairment, that is when it is serious and important. And then my fourth one, this is actually one of my favorites because I think that this is the part that I genuinely enjoy when it comes to therapy and counseling, is that relationships can heal relationships. And you know, not everybody has the education of counseling or understand like the social learning, the biological inheritance, and all those things that it comes with a person being a human, right? And sometimes we don't always get dealt the best cards, but our relationships, the people that hurt us, they create kind of this blueprint of what we think relationships should be, and that's not always true. And the beauty about it in therapy is that we have the opportunity to create, even in a professional space, a different type of outlook for you as far as a relationship goes. And then as we're flowing and giving you all those tools about, well, just insight and different perspective of relationships, you have the ability to take that, go out and make and have productive relationships. You have to see or disprove that thought that you have about a negative relationship to have a healthy relationship. And us as therapists, we're one of the first people to offer that to you. And that, to me, like, that is just something that I love, is that we have the opportunity to just give you something different. So that's one of my favorites. I'm not gonna hold you, but we're gonna move on. And then number 5, the last one, is that emotions, they are signals to your body that something is wrong. Emotions are not wrong. Like, emotions are valid. Your behavior is not valid, but your emotions, what you have, if you feel scared in this moment, if you feel nervous in this moment, if you feel angry, there is a reason. And there's actually a book that I read in my graduates program that was The Body That Keeps the Score. And it really talks about how our body can remember certain things, that even when our mind is trying to catch up to understand what's going on, your body remembers and will act accordingly to how you feel. And so it just goes to tell you that even when you have these emotions come up, they are trying to talk to you. And what are they trying to say? That's another reason why I find myself saying this a lot to my clients, is that you have a right to feel this emotion, especially with your history and background that has come up for you. However, that behavior, it ain't good. We got to find another way to express, soothe, or address this emotion. You know what I mean? So guys, that is it for today. My 5 things that I have told to my clients in session that I felt almost applicable in so many ways, even if they've had different experiences. And I kind of like this series. And I'm definitely going to have to keep mental tabs of things that I say, because I feel like when I'm working with my people, whoever it is, I'm so like engrossed in what we're talking about and trying to like notice patterns and things of that nature, that sometimes it's just intuitive. It really is in the moment. It is not something that is like inauthentic or trained of anything of that nature. So I be forgetting. So I'm gonna have to try to remember, but I hope that you guys like this, because I do, and I definitely think I'm gonna make it a series. So until next time, I hope that you like this video. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get myself back together, because we gonna do this, okay? So I'll see you in my next video. Bye.